teaching dance for at least a couple of decades to children of all ages, but mostly the little ones, all the way through people in their 90s, which is great joy and great fun. Yeah, so it's something that I've been doing for a long time. I've learned a lot. I've had all sorts of uh, types of folks who are learning dance from me. Little children, obviously, as I said, and also like special needs kids, general population children, deaf children, uh, 9-year-old children. Yeah, it runs the gamut.
It
Yeah,
runs the gap. Awesome.
yeah.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the style of dance that you teach?
I mostly teach Afro-Haitian dance, which it's folklore dancing. So all of those dances have the weight of history to them. Uh, they're great because it also has rhythms that go along with the dances. That's great also because it also has songs that are associated with the dances. So there's a story behind it. There's a weight to it with the history. Um, and it's something that people can actually cling on to when they know what they're moving to and why they're moving to it. It's always fun for them to know and to learn and to grow from that, and also find ways, even though there are things that are happening in the past, but they can find ways to connect it to the future and the life that they're living today.
Cool. So it sounds like this is not Zumba. It's like way more than
It's way more than Zumba. Yes, it's definitely way
that.
more than Zumba. Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of our audience are families who are fairly new to homeschooling, and then we have a number of families who have been homeschooling for a while, and they're always looking to find ways that they can help their kids succeed and that kind of homeschool environment. Now, homeschool environment can mean going to an online class or going to in-person class. You and I actually met in an in-person dance studio where I was assisting you. So I would love to just hear from you um, a little bit about what you see makes learning a success for a student, because what you teach has so many different levels. So how do you help kids succeed in your program?
I think storytelling. I've always been a big fan of storytelling, which is, as I said before, I started with writing, and stories were always very important to me as a child. Um, and a lot of the things that I do right now is really stemming from my childhood in Haiti. And in Haiti, Haitian culture is there's always a conte or a story that's being told. And within that conte also has music. And so I find that incorporating all of that into my teaching style is pretty successful because it's universal, that the love of story and storytelling. So I tend to want to, let's say I'm teaching them a dance about a heavy topic of enslavement, right, which is a Igbo dance, we call it in Haitian culture, where it depicts people being in chains and things like that. And so the kids are moving in a way that shows the constriction of that and with the feeling of that, and then breaking free of that also. So they understand where it comes from. They find a way, I find a way to relate that to their lives today. So, okay, so you're not in chains right now, but you know what it feels like when you've been punished for not doing something and being committed just to your room and not being able to go to any other part of the house, or things like that. How does that feel? Okay, how does it feel when you're off punishment now and you just, you feel free and liberated? Like, what does that feel in the movement? And then within that, songs, chants that go along with the feeling and the movement of it. I think all of those things uh, give them something to relate to, and then something to really be engaged in, and talk about, because then they have plenty to say about it too, especially little ones have a lot to say. Will raise their hands like, I did this, so I feel that. And all those
Mm.
are really very, very important. And then there's another, like even, I think you've seen me play this game, the IC game, you know,
Mhm.
I tell them that I see, and then they have to ask me, they ask me, what do I see? And then I tell them something and then they respond. So most of the time it's movement. It's usually part of the warm up. So I would say, I see this. And what do you see, Miss Sheila? I see everybody jumping up and down. So they jump up and down until I say freeze and they stop. But I also use that to find out how they're feeling for the day. I see everyone moving around as if they're really happy. I see everyone moving around like they're really sad. I see everyone moving around as if they're really constricted or like ice or like water or whatever it is. And then you can, I see you moving how you feel today and you get a sense of what's going on. Or even socially, I see everyone behaving like an adult. I see everyone acting like a child. And get a sense of where their mind is as to what they think an adult is or what they think a child is. And believe me, throughout the years, I have noticed a difference in reacting to that. When I first started doing it, all the kids were doing one thing. Now in 2022, their response for adult is a whole different thing. Very, very telling. Yeah.
You touched on a lot of really beautiful things there. You mentioned observation. You mentioned discussion, reflection, that kind of emotional check-in. Are these things that you felt were a part of your growing up, whether it be in an educational aspect or in the home in and of itself? Were those kind of like regular practices?
They were practices for myself, in terms of, I have two nephews and I say to them when they were younger, sometimes you feel something and you don't know why you're feeling it and you have to kind of search inside to figure out what it is. And you may be feeling upset or sad or whatever, but until you stop and ask yourself the question, why am I feeling this way? What happened? And it could be something really minor. Somebody may have said something and then all of a sudden I'm in like this mood and I don't even know why I'm in this mood. So I have had the experience of kids coming into my class not in the best of moods. And then by the end of class, their mood has changed. Either it is from moving it through or having the experience of being able to release it through some of these games that I play.
That's wonderful. So it sounds like not just in your class, but in general, families can encourage their kids to look to ways to express their emotion, even if they can't verbalize it, whether it's through movement or writing or singing or art or something.
Because while I am teaching, I'm also being taught by these kids as well. So I'm watching them learn and how they learn, because everybody learns a little bit differently than the other. And so adjusting to each situation is also very important. And then the parent, I think we could have a discussion about that as well. I know that most of my teaching has come from kids who are out of the general the population. There are times when I've had like a special needs class, let's say a small group of kids, and I'm doing a warm up. And I also tend not to change my warm up, no matter who it is that I'm teaching it. I think everybody can do it. And so there was one particular child who literally would be bouncing himself off the wall during the warm up. And so I would look at him, and at first I get really nervous about that, but they knew that the school knew, so they put like padding on the wall. So he was, and I was like, as long as he's not hitting anybody else, I'm just gonna give him a little space to do that. So every day, we'll do the same thing. It's like, okay, as long as you're fine. Are you okay? Okay, you're fine. Let's keep going. And then there was one day where I played a game where it was follow the leader. So I would do a movement and everybody would follow me, and then I'd run into the class, pick somebody, they'd go take my place, and then they do something, and then we would follow them. So the kid who was bouncing himself off the wall stopped, and I ran to him and I picked him because he had a lot to say with his body. He may not verbally, but he had a lot to say. So I picked him and he went up there and he started doing things from the warm-up that he has never done in front of me.
I love it.
he was learning in a completely different way than I would ever think, that I would ever imagine. Like,
Yeah.
wow, he actually has been, and all I thought it was, he was just going back and forth, but he was actually watching and absorbing.
Yeah.
So a conversation with the parent about that, because I'm sure maybe the parent may already know this, or maybe they haven't gotten a chance to really know this, and maybe the teacher can tell them this and use that to this. Just because he's not listening in the way that we think he should be listening, or she should be listening, you can find out in other ways whether or not what you're trying to convey to him has actually reached him or her. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great lesson for me.
Awesome. It's a great lesson for me too. I love that. I love that
Yeah,
it happened to
yeah,
you.
it's a beautiful moment. Yeah.
I sometimes have to pause myself because sometimes I'm thinking, just do the moves. Come on. We don't have time. But then I just have to like check in with myself and be like, okay, um, why is it important that they do the moves, and what do I want them to gain? And generally, is I just take a breath and I try to focus on something else.
Yeah.
And same with not such an extreme example, but generally I will find when I wind up playing Simon Says Hip Hop.
Right, right.
The kids are actually taking in so much more than would look apparent. So whereas I see somebody playing with their toys or sitting down or what have you,
Yeah.
actually they're just taking in all kinds of stuff, which is so cool. And they can tell me the names of moves and do the moves, and I'm just like,
Right.
wait,
Right.
I thought you were asleep the last 6 classes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And we do that. I think we do that. I mean, there have been times where, I have not been able to dance before health reasons. And yet I go to the class anyway, and I sit and I watch and listen to the music. And then I realize that I pick up something that maybe I normally wouldn't, or I didn't think I could pick up without actually doing the movement myself. So it
Mm,
actually, um, it happens often. Yeah, but when you're standing there and you're trying to teach something to the child and you want them to, and for me, it's like, you got to pay attention, but they are, they're,
yeah,
they're, they're listening, they're watching, they may even be moving in their minds for a minute until
mm,
they're able to move with their bodies.
yeah. I think that also stems from my generation in growing up, especially in public schools. Um, the way to show you were a good student was to pay attention. And then as an artist, the way to show that you understood dance was to just do exactly what you were shown to do.
Right.
So I really love that you are such an open educator. And it just reminds me that as I create my classrooms and try to encourage openness amongst our teachers. Really, that openness starts at home. Where parents are those who choose to homeschool. They're setting their kid up for understanding routine, but also just that flexibility to learn in a style that works for them, which is super cool.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Sheila, let's talk about you as an artist before we say goodbye, because we've already given these parents so many just beautiful things that can help their kids on their journey to just get the most out of whatever educational opportunity they have, whether it's going to an in-person class, not public school, but like taking a dance class where they can learn story, singing all at the same time. I think that's so fabulous.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of story when you go to ballet. When you start with ballet, and you know ballet, we both know ballet, and when you start, they're not like, "Let me just tell you the story of Sleeping Beauty."
Yeah. Yeah.
On your channel to get on with it. Okay. But yes. So you do more than teaching young children, and you do more than choreography and dance. You do so many things. I know you're a singer also. And this shirt that you are rocking right now, tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Yes, yeah. So sac passe is a Haitian phrase, a Haitian Creole phrase that is very common. It's been common forever. So the response is on the back. Oh,
Oh, yes.
right. Yeah, my brothers and I started this company as a way to celebrate our Haitian heritage. And our goal really is to do in whatever small way that we can to change the negative narrative that
Mm.
has always been around about Haiti, and to just celebrate all the goodness that we have.
Mhm.
So it's to try to put it in a positive light. And I know that all three of us have faced ridicule for being Haitian when we were younger. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's, and I know that it's still happening because I've spoken to my younger cousins who be like, yeah, yeah, people are saying this about me because I'm from
Mm.
where I'm from. And so this is all an effort to bring up the culture. So I have, because I'm also an artist, I draw and I paint. So some of the t-shirts also have some of my artwork on there. Yeah, yeah, it's been fun working with them. They're phenomenal men. They're not artists, which is why this. All right. So yeah, we've been doing this for. We started during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic in 2020. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're still very new, but it's been fun. It's been
Wonderful.
good. Yeah, we're
And your
called.
business has been blowing up though. You guys are all over Instagram and
Yeah, people
yeah.
seem to like it, and we're really happy about that. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, we're called Vernon Boulevard 3, or VB3 for short.
Oh, there's on the side, BB3.
There's this VB3, yeah, and Vernon Boulevard was actually the first address where we all lived together as a family for the first time, because my brother
Mm.
Jimmy Enoch lived in Haiti. Sorry,
Mhm.
myself and Jimmy lived in Haiti as children, and Enoch wasn't born yet, and then Enoch was born here in the U.S., and then the whole family got together in that address. So we decided to call it this, yeah, Vernon Boulevard 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Um, has it been, how has the process been working with family? That family
I
learning curve right there.
I know it's funny because we get this question all the time, but we get along really well. I
Oh,
feel like we
wonderful.
great mutual respect for each other. We're different and very alike in other ways. Um, I feel like we balance each other out. We don't. I mean, even as just siblings, we don't. It's not like we argue and bicker and do all these things. There's like a uh, understanding, I think, that and respect that we have for each other that makes this work really nicely. Yeah,
Nice.
I love. I've said in the past that one of them is my right leg and the other one is my left leg, and I couldn't walk, let alone dance, if I didn't have them in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Something that you mentioned that I just think is so beautiful is you mentioned you guys started this business to um, kind of uplift your culture and to remove that negative connotation surrounded by the Haitian people. And I feel like a lot of parents choose to educate at home in order to kind of just remove the negative connotations surrounded by people of color.
Mm,
Um, and there's just a lot of like misconceptions about homeschooling in general. Oh, you
right.
homeschool, you must not have social skills, you must be weird, you can't go to college, which all those things are lies.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of homeschoolers to go to college.
Yeah.
But I love that you guys have created this business with a purpose because
Yes.
there's just so many families that are looking to have their kids do what you do, which is to take their knowledge and then continue to elevate, their
Yeah.
family, their culture.
I think it's a unique position to be in, to be able to educate your child at home, because there are all of these things and all these events and all these things that are left out of the traditional school.
Mhm.
And you now have the opportunity to incorporate other things that are very important, um, especially a child of color. Pride is major. Having
Mhm.
pride in where you come from is major.
Yeah. Cool, 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 cool. Awesome. Well, we are definitely going to share information on these cool shirts because now that I know there's writing on the back too, I want one. I think
Yeah,
everyone should have one. Oh, Sheila, thank you so much for being my first guest on this thing with Melanated Homeschooling. It has been a true honor to learn from you, and I wish you continued success. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge, my friend.
Thank you.
That's it for us today, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us here at Melanated Homeschooling Families. Melanated Homeschooling Families podcast is sponsored by CTRMediaNetwork.com, which is a community of podcasters dedicated to bringing you quality content to make a positive impact in the world from experts and their guests sharing their gifts with you. Watch their 24-hour web TV channels and listen to their podcasts from everyday people doing extraordinary things. Check them out today by going to CTRMediaNetwork.com. You made it to the end of this podcast, which means you deserve a high five or a cookie. You decide what you deserve. But I know you definitely deserve a savings on a course with Choreography by Ray on OutSchool. So if you visit Choreography by Ray on our OutSchool page, you can get $30 off a class of your choosing. So there are at least 19 classes to choose from movement classes to chess classes and coding classes and writing classes. Use code BYRAE, B-Y-R-A-E, MEL, MELN, and the number 30 to save big. You can also visit us at choreographybyray.com and save big on chess and story time, as well as our spring break movement classes by using the same code BYRAE, MELN 30. Thanks so much, everybody. Also, we are giving away a t-shirt from VB3. That's right, the Hot Haitian Creole line. If you want to have a chance to win a t-shirt from VB3, then go ahead and look us up on Instagram for details on how you can be a lucky winner. Until next time, my friends, be well and keep learning.
The comments are in, and they look pretty good. Hey fam, thank you so much for watching. Our sponsors: The Finkley Experience, an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education and which prepares high school students for college. For more information, visit their website at thefinkleyexperience.com. Father to Father Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that strengthens families through father engagement with a goal to help men in our communities to be great dads. For more information, visit their website, fathertofatherinc.org. Ablaze Entertainment. The goal of Ablaze is to take emerging artists and develop them to the next level of their career. For more information, visit their website at ablazeentertainment.net. Thank you.
I am Shonda Scott, creator and founder of 12 New Things at 12newthings.com and CEO of 360 Total Concept. And you are watching The Michael Finkley Show. Enjoy.
Next, Michael Finkley, author of Praise Him While You Wait. Dr. Brenda Jefferson is with us. Next, Finkley. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. Thanks for joining us today. Now, y'all, again, I'll be on these Instagram streets and everything, and I see some amazing stories and amazing content. And I just want to encourage each and every one of you, keep doing what you're doing because you're informing us, you're educating us, and you're inspiring us in the process. So continue to do so. Please continue to do so. I just felt that I had to say that because I know that when making content is not the easiest thing in the world and keeping the interest of people. So thank you so much for the ones that make us laugh and make us cry and make us think as well. Thank you so very much. And our next guest is doing the same thing. She is definitely inspiring those that she comes in contact with, especially by way of her book as well. Praise him while you wait. Of course, I'm talking about the Dr. Brenda Jefferson, and she talks about her brand new book and so much more. So Think Fam, don't you dare go away. Back in a moment. Next, Dr. Brenda Jefferson is with us. Don't go away.
Hey, I'm Angel Taylor, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
Say to me, I'll listen close when you speak to me. I need your love all over me.
On the next Michael Finkley, the Black Bon Jovi is with us. Next Finkley. Hello, everybody. It's Finkley from the Finkley Experience. We're an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. So we assist students with their college and career endeavors. We train school administrators on the state of first-generation students. And also, we partner with colleges and universities to assist their first-generation population for easy transition from high school to college. So if you're looking for a presenter or speaker that presents on these topics and so much more, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com and learn about all that we do. We're looking forward to working with you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, y'all, my next guest, she is an author. She's a pastor. She's a producer. She's a leader. But most importantly, she's a believer. She is Dr. Brenda Jefferson. How are you?
I am blessed, Michael. I am blessed. I'm honored to be on your show.
Oh, it's an honor that way to just chat with you because you're doing some incredible things. You have an incredible story. So let's get into it. When I think about your story, when I think about you and the things that I read about you,
Yes.
the word faith just
Yes.
popped in my mind.
Yes.
Describe your faith to the Fink family.
My faith, I'm just a believer, and I just believe God for the impossible. I've been through a lot in my lifetime, but it drove me to have faith in God, to believe God no matter what. Because at the end of the day, when it says now faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen, you may not see it, but you got to keep that hope on the inside, trusting and believing God at all times. And that's my faith, trusting and believing God.
Oh, my word. And it's amazing how our faith leads and guides us every
Yes.
single day, only
Yes.
if you allow it. Only
You
if
have
you allow it.
You have to allow it. You're right. You have to allow it. And so many times people don't allow it, or they don't have the patience to wait on faith, because it's a patience. Sometimes we don't get it when we want to, or things don't happen when we expect it or think it should happen. But if we just stand and believe God, in your patience possess your house, in your patience possess your car, in your patience possess your healing. Whatever you need, you have to believe and wait and have patience to do it.
Come on, Pastor.
Hey, that pastor come by, that preacher come by. Oh God. But you have to wait on it.
You have to wait. You definitely have to wait.
Yeah.
And in our life, we go through things in life that we have to wait on. And one of those things that inspired your book, that I read about, was an ordeal that you went through that encouraged your book. Could you tell us about that time, that situation?
Okay, now I got a lot of situations going. So is it the marriage of my son?
Your son.
Okay, my son, you know how you bring up your children, in the godly way, and you bring them up in God, and you teach them morals, and you teach them standards. And my son got with the wrong crowd, and he started, doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. So he started out with the drug scene. And by him going to prison, it just was devastating because, you know, you as a mother, you know, it's really hurtful to know that your son is in prison and you don't know whether you're going to see him again or not, and you don't know. And that was just a trying time for me, and it was like a hurtful time that when I think about it, it's, you know, I try not to be emotional about it because it's like hurtful on the inside when a mother loses her son. And he's really, in reality, he's really a good boy. He just got it into the wrong crowd, and he thought that he was missing something. You know, a lot of times we raise kids and they go to church and they feel like, you know, it's something more out there for me, you know, and we don't do this and we don't do that, and I just want to experience something different. And that's what happened to him. And I was just, you know, that brought on the book, Praise Him While You Wait. And my whole God just spoke to me. He said, "Why are you waiting on me to do something for your son?" He said, "You keep praising me and praise me while you wait." So I just start. That's my praise. I praise God while I'm waiting. I don't sit back and feel sad. Some days I have my moments, tears are flowing, my heart's broken, even when I think about it. But I know that God is going to bring my son home. I know He's going to bring him back to me, and I just hold on to that. But I continue to praise God while I'm waiting, and knowing that God's going to bring him home. So,
in all of that, with your son, and your son inspired your book, Praise Him While You Wait. What did you learn about the entire situation of waiting?
I learned that no matter what the situation looks like, I know that God's going to do it. And you have to stay in the Word of God. You have to encourage your own self. You know, encourage yourself in the Word of God. You can't just sit back and say, "Woe is me," and keep rehearsing. You know, because then you think about, what could I have done different? Or what could I? But I know in praising Him while you wait, that keeps that joy on the inside. The Scripture says, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." So that joy that I keep on the inside is my strength. So I keep that joy, that knowing that I trust God, that God is going to bring my son back home to me. And I believe that. I stand on that.
Gotcha. I love that. How's your son doing today?
Well, he's doing great. He's in there. He's bringing young men to the Lord. I mean, they call him preacher. Even the guards come in and they come and ask for prayer. And I mean, he's just doing awesome. You know, my husband wrote a book, Living in Victory. And my son, that's the only book that they would let him teach. Each prisoner that leaves out of the prison had to go through him to go through Living in Victory. And he taught that book. He teaches that book. So I believe that God put him there to help so many men that's coming out. And he said, "Mama, you know, so many men are coming out and have lesser charges than me, but, you know, I know that God got a time, and I know He does." So I feel like that when he gets through with what God wants him to do in that prison, he's coming home. So I stand on that. So I keep praising God while I'm waiting.
You better, or Rock will. You better.
Yes. yes.
You better do it. Definitely
Yes.
better do it. So when we read this book, Praise Him While You Wait, and as a reader, what do you want readers to get from it?
I want readers to get from the book is that no matter what situation you have, you know, you go through seasons in your life, and maybe the season is maybe a little cloudy outside, maybe it's raining, but the sun is going to shine. So you have to hold on and keep praising God till the sun shines. But it won't always be like trouble don't last always. It's a season. So we all go through seasons, and we have to trust God through that season. So I'm looking for people, when they read that book, their life is going to change. I know it. And I know that that book is going to help them through anything that they're going through. I mean, one part of the book, I talk about dropping your anchor. You know, Jesus is my anchor. So, you know, you have to be steady and steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in work of the Lord. I mean, because whatever you do, it's not in vain. So we have to trust God through all our seasons and what we're going through. So I know that people with Praise Him While You Wait, it's going to be a deliverance book for anybody that reads it.
I love it. I love it already. Y'all think that, please go get the book. Please go get the book. Definitely will encourage you to wait while you're waiting. It will definitely encourage you while you wait. And not only are you an author, but you're an artist as well. You sing.
No, I don't sing. I don't sing though. I write songs and
Right.
produce songs. Yes, and I get singers from all over the country to sing my songs. God give me songs in the night. And so the people just, and he'll just give me an artist that put in my heart, like we just had Pastor Sam Franklin. And I mean, when I tell you she delivered that song, and she is a awesome singer. So I had Lisa Page Brooke, Clap Your Hands. And I mean, I just got all kinds of singers all over the country, and they deliver the song. They deliver songs. Whatever I write, I get them all over the country, and they sing my songs.
So you wrote the song, "Oh, clap your hands, clap your hands. That is what I want you to do."
Yes.
That is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yeah.
I blast that, if not every day.
Dude, hey, that song brought me through a lot. Oh, clap your hands, all you people, you have to shout on the God with the voice of triumph, that you already done made it.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Look at God. This is how it works. I love your ministry. How you said it has helped you along the way. How has writing these songs, putting your feelings and words on paper, and then helping others succeed as well? How has that process been for you?
Oh, it's been a blessing, because when I hear those songs and God give me songs and I write them, and then I hear the artists sing them back to me, they're ministering to me. So it's just a fulfilling. And it's like, I asked God, years ago, I said, Lord, I don't have anything, my husband preaches, he delivers ministry, he uses him. And I want something that I know that only you could have given me. And we were on our way to Africa to a conference, and the Lord said, pick up your pen. I'm going to make you my pen of a ready writer. And from that day to this day, I've been that ready writer. Yes.
Thank you for being obedient.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being obedient, because I know that millions upon millions have been blessed by your. So, and you still have work to do, Dr. Jackson.
Oh yeah, I still have work to do. I mean, we just came out of Ladies in Lyrics, and Yanni Crawley. I mean, from I think she was on the best. What's the name of the program?
Sunday's Best.
Yes, Sunday's Best. I'm sorry, got a blank there. Sunday's Best, and she sung "Move," and that girl really, Tammy Haddon, she sung "Blessing," and so we just had so many powerful artists, and it was a blessing. It was a great blessing.
Wow, I love that. And listening to you speak, I can tell that your faith is, because he only require your faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed.
Right.
I know that your faith is strong. I know that your faith is powerful. You're a very determined individual. All that's going on in the world today, we have sickness, we have COVID still here, the different diseases in the land. How are you still able to cope in a world around you that is chaotic?
Well, and that goes back to the book. In the world of being chaotic and world of dying, I've lost a lot of people that I loved and cared about through COVID. So you still have to keep that praise on the inside, no matter what happens in your life. And I know a lot of people that I'm associated with lost a lot of loved ones. So I encourage them to keep praising God, and nothing happens without God, but God allows it to happen. But we have to keep going and praising God, because then there's somebody over there to the left or to the right, maybe need your praise or need your joy. So you can't give up. So I know a lot of our loved ones, they don't want us to be down in our spirit. They want us to keep praising God and keep going on, because there's so many people out there need help. So many people out there need that smile, like your smile. I mean, they need that, and it makes them happy, because I'm just looking at you and I'm like, oh, and just you make me happy looking at you. So that's what people need. They need that joy. They need that peace on the inside that you give. So I love that. I love that. Keep that smile. I love your smile.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Wow. If I could blush, Doc, I would. So much, again, so much is happening. So we've been through a lot, and this year's about to end, right?
Yeah.
2023 is right around the corner. If God will allow you to see 2023, what are you most excited for within the new year?
I'm excited because I'm in the process of, I try to help a lot of youth. And because of what happened with my son, I just don't want a lot of young men to fall into the wrong trap of drugs or violence or gun violence or whatever. So this 2023, God spare my life, we're going to start on building a youth center. So I'm just excited about that. So 2023 is a great year that I believe that God's going to bless us with everything we need to build that center.
That is, I don't know why I'm getting tears to my eyes, but that
Yes.
is a blessing because
Yes.
so many youth out there
Yes,
I've just left the field of education to
Yes.
pursue this full time. And
yes,
in my departure, I've seen so many lost youth.
yes,
Because of
yes.
COVID, because of whatever, right?
Yes.
They need that guidance, they need that support, they need that advisement. And you
Yes.
doing this is gonna be major.
Yes, yes, yes.
Major.
And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about, we have giving, where we give out all kind of, boxes for the people. And this year, we've got the youth running everything. The youth is gonna be there. They're gonna be doing their singing. And I'm just excited about all the things that the youth are gonna be doing.
Season 5 for us here at the Michael Finkley Show is all about finding your next biggest dream, living in it, and also fulfilling what's next. Again,
Yes.
we do so much in life, right? And I definitely believe that everything in life works together for our good. You know, the word says that everything works.
That's my favorite.
It works together. So, what is your next biggest dream, Dr. Jefferson?
My biggest dream is the youth. I'm believing 2023 is going to bring us into that, start the process of building our youth center. We have, every year we do Thanksgiving giveaway. And this year, the youth, that we are letting the youth put it on. They're going to have dancing and singing and giving out food boxes and everything. So we're just taking the community and bringing the youth to us. So we've got so many youth that came and want to be involved. So I'm excited about what's going to take place on the 19th of this month. So I'm excited about that.
Let's go. I love
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I must say, it has been a pleasure chatting with you and getting to
Oh.
know you as an individual, because sometimes, we see people from afar, we see
Yes.
what they do on social media, but just to chat
Yes.
with them makes you that much more three-dimensional. So
Oh, yes.
thank you so much for
Thank
just being with us and being who you are as an individual. Like I
Thank you.
said before, you're still just getting started. So
Yes.
we see
Yes.
nothing yet.
Yes. I've got a lot of
Excited.
to do.
We're excited for our ladder because you said our ladder will be greater.
Great. You're right. You're right.
So we're excited about it. One more time, how can we get our hands on this amazing book, Praise Him While We Wait?
Just go on my website, BernardJefferson.com, and you'll see all the information there. You can get my book. And this book is going to be a life changer to anybody that reads it.
Love it. I love it. Y'all heard it here, Think Fam. Dr. Jefferson, thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blessing. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Likewise, you're very welcome. Back in a moment.
Hey, this is Nelson Estevez, aka Alonzo from Tyler Perry's The Oval, and you're now watching the Michael Finkley Show.
Welcome to Father to Father.
The mission of Father to Father Charleston, South Carolina is to help fathers in the Low Country area of South Carolina to be a positive and consistent presence in their children's lives. Father to Father provides community-based programs and support groups for fathers free of charge. They also help fathers connect to other resources they need so they can meet their responsibilities and secure their parental rights. Father to Father offers job coaching and employment connections that benefit fathers. Father to Father is a resource for local organizations that want to provide family support and father-friendly services. If this program is a fit for you, visit our location in North Charleston, South Carolina, and meet our friendly staff here to help and assist. Or visit our website at fathertofatherinc.org.
I'm Patricia
I'm Lisa Cook.
And I'm Tanisha Gray Stewart.
And this is the Life Day Time.
And you are watching
The Michael Finkley Show.
CTR Media Network was created for today's podcasters. We provide a safe haven for content creators we have a system of positioning, monetization training, coaching, and support for our podcasters' success. CTR Media Network simply bridges that gap with a level playing field for your dreams to come true cost effectively. Our team provides a premium service and experience for our podcasters to grow. CTR Media Network provides access, support, resources, coaching, and community for our podcasters to win, if you put in the work. We believe that we are living in a unique time which requires you to share your message of hope with millions of people around the world. Remember that the world is never too saturated for you, your voice and message. A platform for positive impactful media where the content creators are in the driver's seat. Visit our website today by going to www.ctrmedianetwork.com.
Hey there, Fink fam. I'm Skip Robinson, fitness model, pro bodybuilder, black belt martial artist, AARP member, guitar hack, and frustrated cowboy. I'll expound on that and a lot more on The Michael Finkley Show, and I'll see you then.
On the next Michael Finkley, the Black Bon Jovi is with us. Next Finkley. Hello, Fink fam. Welcome back. I hope that you were definitely inspired by this amazing interview. Thank you so much, Dr. Jefferson, for being with us and sharing your story in your words. Much success to you and your team in the future. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show. Ring that bell for notification. We'll see you an email saying, hey, new content's available. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And for more information about what we do, visit our website, michaelfinkley.show.com. Of course, you can listen to us on Amazon, also on Roku TV, and also U42 via the Raspberry Network. Thank you so much for watching, Fink fam, and always, always remember to pursue your dreams. Happy Thanksgiving! Have a good one.
Listen up, everybody. I am so excited. I just finished a course and got certified on how to start a podcast and monetize it. Thanks to my amazing instructor, Tina Ramsey. My heart right now is overwhelmed. My dreams have been fulfilled. And if you are looking to take your company to the next level, then choose the best. Tina Ramsey, owner of the CTR Network. You don't want to sleep on this. If you want to invest in yourself, start today so you can monetize your business and get what you deserve. God bless you. Don't sleep. Get it done.
and the creator of the Sis Stars Empowerment Incorporated, which is Nadia Francois, who is the creator of this amazing weekend of events. And I'll be sharing with you all a little bit more because we have some events going on all weekend and all week, as well as some an upcoming summit, which is called Level Up Summit. And yes, I'll be sharing that with you. But here we are, we're back again with another part. This is part 2 of my interview with the phenomenal, yes, Ladrine Howard Peterson, who is the visionary author of a book called We Grieve Differently. And you see that she brought some amazing women with her on today. I have with us Dakota Saunders. Excuse me. Hi, Dakota, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good. I'm hanging in here, girl. Yes, I am. We are going to have a great time, but welcome to Book Talks with Sandy. Diana Jackson.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? You
Doing
good?
well.
Okay, good. Glad to have you. And we have Lady Latasha Briscoe with us.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, and thank you. And we have Ms. Monica Best that is with us. And Sunita Mitchell is with us as well. Hey, Sunita, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing, listen, girl, I'm hanging in here. Y'all hanging in here with me too, and I appreciate it. And the visionary author, as well as, you got to help me with this because you have a co-visionary author as well. And so Ladrine, who is, yes, the visionary author of this amazing project, along with Sunita. Did I get that right? No, it's not
Latasha.
Latasha
Briscoe.
Hey, come on, y'all, help me out here.
Latasha, her flowers.
Yes.
Maybe that's another
Wait a
book.
minute.
Look.
Okay, so Sunita, you all help me out. Okay, so listen, these women are fabulous. Sunita is going to share with us about some resources. This book, We Grieve Differently, is going to empower you. This book is a part of 12 individuals, 12 women who have shared their stories of their losses, but yet some victories and some victories of dealing with loss. And we're talking about loss of death. We're talking about loss of life. And Ladrine, you were with us on last week, and so you've been with me for 3 weeks. we have become quite a girl's pal here.
Yes,
I
yes,
appreciate
indeed.
you. I don't always get it right, but thank you for helping me through my fumbles here. But you have brought this amazing book to the light of our listening audience, and we have some regulars that listen to us from all over the country. And so bring us in this book, We Grieve Differently, as well. And if you recall, my previous interview with her prior to this was about the book We Heal Differently. And so we kind of did a flip there. But Ladrine, come on and share with us. You are a best-selling author. You're a talk show host. You have a business where you're definitely out of the corporate world. So share a little bit about who you are and this book, and then we'll bring on your other Miss Briscoe, who is your other visionary author, together.
Yes. And Sandy, once again, thank you so much for allowing us to be on your platform and rolling out the carpet to have us to do sort of like a takeover for 3 weeks. I really appreciate that. And as I had mentioned on the very first show, like right now, it just seems at a heightened level where everyone is trying to heal, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going through this whole grieving stage, and how you said it, we started kind of like in the backwards order. Of course, I think God's orchestration is never backwards, and it just so happened to be how it ended up going, right? So we talked about the healing first, but it's also like very pivotal and important for people to get the message is that when you are grieving, if you don't allow yourself to fully go through the process, and if you don't face what's going on, but you more so try to avoid it, you're not going to get through it. You're not going to get through it, and you're not going to get to the place where you can even transition to heal. You're going to find yourself stuck. You're going to find yourself stuck. So all of these ladies, as well as the ones who were on your show last week accompanying me, they have powerful stories about their grieving process. And even throughout the book project, right? As I reread these stories over and over again. It is saying the transition with each and every one of us. All of them are different. That's the title. We all grieve differently. All the stories are different. And it doesn't mean that it's going to mirror someone's experience that they're going through right now. It doesn't mean that someone's going to have the exact pathway that either one of us had. But I can tell you that all of the stories have some impactful droppings and some impactful nuggets that make people think. And I can guarantee you, even if it's not with their moms, that they have gone through a process where some of the things that we wrote, it'll be because even within the stories for me, I'm all throughout this. And then the last thing I'll say before I cue Tasha up, within the books, one of the things that we really try to do, right? We the authors in themselves, the majority of them have tips at the back of the book in which I collaborate. I probably owe y'all a little something because I put them in the Heal Journal. But in addition to that, Latasha and I, when we were talking about this project, and she can share in more about how it came to be, how it really came to be. But as we were talking about this project, we realized that people were hurting for all different things, and that hurt was causing them grief. So we wanted the meat of it to be what we wanted it to be. And we purposely did that, purposely picked 12, including us too, because each one of us are roses, and it represented a dozen of roses. And then we called on our spiritual advisors, the people who we really lean upon to help us, and they blessed us with their information, whether it was the foreword or the afterword. And then we pulled in Sunita, who deals with this on a lot of different facets, and we'll let her jump in at the end. Well, she'll provide the whole grief recovery aspect of it. So with that, I gotta introduce you to my girl. Come on, get this flower. She didn't call you every other day, but by all means, I know how it goes, right? But my girl, Latasha Briscoe, the best co-visionary anybody can have. Our skill sets just kind of like come together. And when I tell you magic happens, our souls and our spirits coming together, oh my God, Latasha is amazing. So Latasha Briscoe, unmic and share about the project. Share what you will want people to know in terms of the introduction of the show. And Sandy, I'm a host, but I feel like I'm taking up your show. So anytime chime in. But I'm with my girl Latasha.
I'm loving it now, you all. And what I was doing as she was going, I was like, okay, because I could get my notes and you know how they have the cue cards, we're in this TV radio network thing. And I'm like, I know I got my cue cards somewhere. I may not be, but I love it. I love it. I love it. And yes, I'm going to go ahead, and when she finished, we want to share who this amazing woman is. And I want you to know who these two women are. You talked about collaborating and gelling together. And the reason I believe is because you all have not just the foundation of being able to work with women, and you as far as Ladrine, you again CEO and deliverer of the business that is called Delivering on Ideas and Thoughts, Do It, and founder of Do It Empowers Incorporated. You are a business strategist, you're a career strategist, certified Christian life coach, specializing in turning dreamers and into doers. You're enthusiastic about helping others optimize their ideas and achieve their personal professional goals. Then we've got Latasha. again, who came in and you all gelled together. Latasha is the owner and the creative director of LB Initiatives, is innovation events, excuse me, a full service event planning and design firm. Annually, LB Innovations is responsible for over 100 weddings, corporate functions, and events with purpose. There's more I can read about you, but again, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But we want to hear from you, the two of you gelling together, bringing your expertise of bringing women together for such a conversation that when we talk about grief and we talk about death and we talk about the transitioning of loved ones, friends, family. And so, yes, Lady Latasha, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and I want to echo what my co-visionary said at the beginning. Sandy, thank you for having us on here, allowing us to take over your show, because Ladrine has literally tried to take over your show. But that's our Ladrine, and we love her for that. And
we wouldn't have it any other way, right?
No, ma'am, because that's where we complement each other, because she has the words, but that just reflects the passion that she has in regards to this project. Because as she stated, I want to share a little bit about how it actually came about, because and if you get the book, you read, or if you've already read the book, you know that we've lost our mothers. Many of the co-authors in the book have lost their mothers. However, this book is about more than loss in terms of death. We have also had co-authors that have experienced loss by the means of their mothers just disappearing from their lives, or no longer being a part of their lives. And so we definitely want to make sure that we allow listeners to understand that when we're talking about that word loss, we're not just referring to death. And the book, the writing process, the brain dumping process, that brainstorming process, and just the whole method of bringing all the ideas together to draft that first copy, it was a healing process for all of the co-authors as well. For me, when Ladrine said, I want to write this book, and this is why, and I said to her, I've been wanting to write this book because I had lost my mother 10 years prior, but I didn't know where to begin. And that was the beginning of my grieving journey. And this process, it helped me to reflect on some things, heal from some things, understand some things that I didn't get to have closure to when my mother passed. And it also allowed me to watch how Ladrine was going through her grieving process, having just lost her mom, because it helped the both of us really prepare for what was to come immediately following, the release of this book. And even the not even before we even released the book, really, because another thing, came up and we had to experience loss again. But as it was mentioned, we have 12 co-authors, but we also have a lot of experience. We have a lot of knowledge. So it's not just the individual story or chapter, it's the details that everyone can sit down and read and say, you know what, that applies to me, or this is something similar that I went through. We have one co-author whose mom left her on a doorstep at 3 weeks old. That abandonment and that loss, you may not have been left on a doorstep by your mother, but you may have experienced some sort of abandonment in your life. But to really dig deep and understand why a person does what they do, and it may not be just to hurt you, it may be because they were going through something, but it really helps you heal. It helps you get rid of a lot of stuff, that thing called forgiveness in the Bible. It helps you really understand why that is so important. And walking into our anniversary of releasing this book, which we released as best-selling authors, it's just exciting that we can bring back this momentum and share with people, because during this past, year, 2 years, really, while we've been going through so much, people have not really had a chance to grieve because something has happened back to back to back for so many of us. And so reintroducing the book, reintroducing the resources that we call our co-authors to everyone will hopefully allow some people to really understand what they're going through and how to deal with what they're going through. So again, I thank you for allowing us to be on here, sharing a little bit more, and allowing us to definitely give flowers, like you said, give me flowers, but give flowers to our co-authors, because we've all been through so much. Even after the book was released, I've watching our co-authors, and they're all dealing with different things in their lives, including loss. So I appreciate you, and definitely looking forward to you hearing from our co-authors and what they have to share as well. So thank you.
You are quite welcome. You all, if you're tuning in, yeah, this is Sandy. I want to thank all of you that are listening on Facebook. Thank you we are in a third week of our amazing guest and who has been bringing these phenomenal women. We're talking about the phenomenal Latrine Howard Peterson, who is visionary number one of We All Grieve Differently. And visionary author Briscoe, whenever you said something about the abandonment, that kind of stuck out. There's two things, is that you're right, is that the loss, you're not understanding why you were abandoned. You begin to ask all of those questions. Why did it want me? Why did it care for me? Those questions. And so, and this being a re-release, one of the authors that spoke to us last week, she shared about how she went back through her chapter, Sunita, and she was saying tears were coming up as I was rereading just to get prepared. And so what I was saying is that it was a different season. What the thought is coming to mind is that it was a different season when you initially wrote the book or wrote your chapter. But now here it is, maybe a couple of years, a year later, 6 months later, 8 months, 1 month later. And your mindset may be different, but it can still sometimes be fresh in our mind, in our memory. But we handle it differently, just as your book is telling us. We handle it. Maybe it doesn't, the pain is not as strong as it was once. We are learning how to think about the happy moments. Latrine talked about being able to call her mother and not being able to call her mother, calling her but not being able to, but then just finding herself, I'm sitting in the car, I'm gonna still talk to her anyway. I've got this exciting news, a deliverance, a victory report from the doctor. And okay, and we get it. When you grow to that point, that's the testimony. Listen, I want to thank these ladies, and we're going to definitely hear from them. You are just hearing from visionary author number 2, which is something new, y'all. I've never had it, and I've been interviewing authors. I'm telling you, God is just doing, he just opened me up for all of this new stuff. I'm telling you, we do want to give a thanks to our sponsor, Swag Her Magazine. We're a part of the Swag Her Magazine family. Thank you for sharing it out, and thank you all. We do want to let you know is that yes, the Swag Her family, we are part of them. And so if you're looking for a good resource and a good magazine to have and read and maybe be a part of, Swag Her Magazine online, you can go to that. And now what I want to do is call on contributing author Dakota. I would like to call on her, and then Sunita, yeah, we're going to bring you around. I would like to call on Dakota, and Dakota is a contributing author. And give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up your information here, and let's see. Here we go. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. So thank you and welcome. And so just want to share who you are. Dakota Saunders, born in January the 25th, and she's candid about the year she was born. We as ladies, sometimes we'll tell people, and I don't mind telling folks, I'm hitting 61 this year, and I'm so excited. She was raised in the Prince George County of Maryland, raised surrounded by the love of her beloved father, Alexander Saunders, and her beloved mother, Sheila Saunders. Dakota often spent time surrounded by her immediate family, which includes her 2 older brothers, host of nieces and nephews. Her beloved mother, Sheila Saunders, inspired Dakota's love for education. Her mother always instilled in her children the value of education and the importance of succeeding in life, no matter what the obstacles you face. Dakota attended college and became an elementary school teacher. She has been teaching for over 15 years and loves educating her students. Dakota has obtained a master's degree in education and then decided to work towards her doctoral degree. When she is not working, she enjoys spending time with her family and friends, traveling and supporting her community, continuing to pursue her doctoral degree while still teaching her students and to become her students to become the best version of themselves. At this time, we're going to go ahead and hear from contributing author Dakota Saunders. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for welcome us all to this platform. Basically, how my journey began with this, Latasha and Ladrine have reached out to us. And at that time, I was strongly dealing with the death of my mom. Not saying I'm not dealing with it now. However, writing this book had definitely helped influence me to talk about it more, reach out to other people that's dealing with death, not even just as a mom or a dad, but just in general. But I definitely know writing this book definitely released a lot of stress, anxiety. I can definitely just reflect on it and think of positive memories related to my mom and my dad as well, because my dad is also deceased. Living in this world now alone, sometimes I feel alone. But I definitely know that both of them are in a better place, and I still have a journey to accomplish with other people who may go through this as well. I'm thankful and grateful that I have met a lot of people because of this. I have met a lot of sisters because of this. So I know when I go through things, I definitely have people to reach out to, and I'm thankful for that. I'm just basically grateful. If I had to say one thing that I'm happy for that I got out of this experience, this is my first time being able to write a book as well. One thing that I've reflected I got out of this was building a relationship with others and digging deep and finding strength to move on, to discover that it's not the end. I'm sorry, that is not the end. And I have more to do in life, so I'm thankful.
I love it. I love it. And Ladrine has shared with me, and I think we had in our second interview with the other authors, you all had these meetings, these times of getting together, and sometimes wasn't even about the book. You cried, you laughed, you pulled out the tissues and all of that. And so now you have this circle of sisters. How is that feeling for you?
That feels great. Especially because I only have brothers. So it feels great to be able to come and, talk about things that females deal with, and on a different level than just talking to my big brother. So
because sometimes they just don't understand.
Exactly.
And then they want to be our fathers,
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So that's amazing. So you're having to, do you find yourself sharing your story with other women who have lost a parent, who have lost, since we're on the subject, your mother has passed on, and as you were saying, you were dealing with that, as you should, as any daughter would. Do you find that God has sometimes placed you in, and you'll step back, that was only God to allow me to share my story? Share a moment of that if that's happened with you.
Well, I did ask myself, of course, sometimes we question God. Yeah. And I did ask myself, I was like, what's the purpose of me having to deal with the loss of my both parents, actually? Yep. And as of right now, I don't have many people or friends that dealt with a loss of parents. But the thing about it, they will go through it one day. They will, and I think I'm the resource for them to be able to go through it with them, as well as give them guidance and light at the end of the tunnel. Because when you're going through it, especially if you haven't had no one to deal with it, sometimes you're like, you don't really sometimes want to take other people's advice that haven't been through what you've been through.
True.
But I'm the person that have been through it. So when that opportunity comes, I'm definitely know how to kind of walk through with it and be supportive with that person.
I love how you said to be a resource, and already you're using that terminology. You're making yourself available. You're saying, God, I'm available. If you need me, I'm available to be that resource. And that's why we're going to go ahead into our conversation with Sanita, if I can. I think this is a good leading into you. As someone who helps individuals. I want to pull your bio up, but come on and say hi to us while I do that.
Hello, everyone. I am Sanita Mitchell, and I am your grief recovery specialist. And what I do is I help women learn how to transition and to really walk and figure out how to live life after loss, right? Because so many of us just face it, this wasn't a conversation. If everybody thought for a second, no one really sat you down and had a conversation with you as a child, how to deal with loss and disappointments, right? It just came up. You just was like, hey, I had this loss, and sometimes parents or whoever was, in your life at the time just either told you to get over it or pull up your big girl underwear, and this is just the way the life rotates on the spectrum. And so when we're kids, we learn these things, and then what we learn as kids, we take on as we become women, and we have to learn sometimes to unravel some of those things that we were left to just kind of figure out on our own. And grief is one of those subjects that we just don't have these hard conversations about, right? It's just like one of those things that we just know we're going to have to deal with, but no one really prepares anyone for that. I'll just say, like, it wasn't until my mom passed away in 2019, I remember it was like a few days later, she was like, I remember something she told me. And she said, you'll understand one day because I used to ask her, like, why does she, like, my mom had a real bad setback to like depression and everything when my grandmother passed away. And I didn't understand why. And then she told me, one day you're going to understand what this void is like. But until then, you won't really understand what it's like until it happens to you. But what I learned was that was her way. That was her little conversation, right? And we didn't talk anything else about it. She didn't prepare me. She didn't say anything to me. Yeah. But that's just how we are with grief. We just kind of roll with it and just try to figure our way through it.
Awesome. Thank you for that input, and then we'll come back. I want you to share about your what you do, how individuals will be able to reach you, and we'll tap into that in just a moment. But I'm going to go ahead and bring on Ladrine. Do you want to tap in? You got anything? You feeling anything you want to say so far?
I can tap in at any time, but I would like for you to go ahead and proceed through the co-author. I can tap in at any time. I always have something to say. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. Please support and help me. Let's get through them. They have some powerful stories.
They do. Yes, indeed. Diana Jackson. She is next coming up, and born in Milwaukee. I think this is my first time meeting someone out of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. She is the 6th of 8 born children. Currently lives in Prince George County as well, in Maryland. So did you two know each other before the book project? See, I gotta stop, y'all. This is me. They didn't know each other. Did they live around the corner from each other? Okay, I love it. And so she lives there with her 2 daughters. Diana is a teacher, mentor, and editor, as well a mother, to name a few. Before she started writing books, Diana received her bachelor's and master's degree in secondary education and in English education and educational administration from our Marquette University. Am I saying that correctly, y'all?
Marquette.
Thank you. Marquette. Okay, thank you. Though she is a teacher by trade, Diana always knew that she wanted to write books. She discovered her love and talent for poetry writing in the 4th grade. That formed the expression led to her present and writing for many events, as she's put in her bio. Diana hopes that her literary works provide a platform to inspire and encourage readers in several different areas. And then we'll let others know that, yes, they're going to be able to reach you. We'll share her website, which we have is www.dianajackson.com. And we'll have her to say that again shortly. But come on, Diana. Hello, and again, welcome to Book Talks with Sandy's Table. And just share with us how you came about to know these group of women and your contribution to the book.
Sure. So hi, everyone. The way that it came about for me was through Latasha. She hosted events where you could like do vendor activities, like for lack of a better term. So like I did a couple vendor events, and so through that I was in her email chain, and so she had this email, and she was like, hey, would you like to be a contributing author to this book about grieving the loss of your mother? And for me, my mother isn't deceased, but I was raised in the foster system, and I was like, you know what, I think that it fits the profile, but I'm not sure. So I went to the listing set, and I was like, I don't know if this is it based on the description. So I just reached out to her, and I was like, hey, this is my story, and I feel like my story can heal, and it is a story of grief and healing. What do you think? And she was like, absolutely. So that's how it came about for me. And just a little more about my story. As you said, like my mother had 8 children, and I was at the age of 4 to eventually age out. And so through that time, especially as I began to grow into my identity as, a teenager, when I really started to think about like all these different things, what does it mean to like be in a foster home with a foster parent who I felt like didn't have my best interest at heart. But then this other layer of, who is this woman who's out here in this world who I don't hear anything about, and what do I make of that, and how do I continue to, move forward? Do I try to pursue a relationship with her? I just completely shut the door. And so that's what my story is about, like really, really understanding that and really trying to figure that out through God, seeking Him as He knows her better than I know her. And then accepting what it was, being able to look around and see that He gave me all these other women who acted as mother figures, either for a season or for a lifetime. And so instead of sitting and thinking about what would me, what I didn't have, and bringing all the things that I did. And that's how I was able to grieve and to heal from my story.
Well, thank you so much. And so let's bring our audience. And I want to thank Dr. Tanya Blackman, amazing woman. Thank you, Dr. Tanya, for watching today. Brenda, hi, Brenda. Thank you for tuning in. Our Facebook audience today. Thank you, guys. We are you could be anywhere else. I'm always appreciative when our audience stops through and just, giving us the support. We're talking about a subject today, and I love it, Sunita, how we are becoming more open to talking about, as you said, no one prepares us for death. No one prepares us for the losing of a parent, a child, a family member, a coworker, even your neighbor. We have elderly people that live alone, and then all of a sudden your neighbor has passed away and you don't know how to get in touch with their grandchildren. That's a whole nother subject, right? Or their children, or even if they have children, so that's a whole nother subject right there. But I want to go back to Diana. Thank you for your sharing of your story. There's so many young people that we're hearing, and when I say young people, is they're in their 30s or 40s, and they've been in the foster care system, and whenever they age out, and they're still dealing with not knowing, or maybe knowing, or not having a relationship with their biological parent. And so for you shared that experience with us. And so how is it that, and I want to ask you the same question, have you found yourself where you have been able to help another person by sharing your story?
Absolutely. Even before this book was written, I definitely, being a teacher, you run into so many students with a lot of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So to be able to tell a kid, you have no excuse but to be successful. Nothing that life has thrown at you has taken you out of the game, and I'm living proof of that. But most recently, I can say that a coworker of mine lost her mother. And so it was such a gift to be able to be like, hey, I have something that I think can help you. And my story may not be the one that you identify with, but someone in here probably has a really similar story to yours. So here's my gift. And, I hope that, it helps you. So that was great for me to be able to do that.
That's good. That is good. So Ladrine, yes, this book, and Sunita and Lady Latasha, this book is becoming a healing tool. It is a tool that, as you were very candid to let them know, is that, hey, it may not be my story, but it could be someone else's story that will help you along your journey of as you go through the grieving process. I think we talked about last week, excuse me, is that it's okay to grieve. Take your time and grieve. And it's good to have that accountability partner. Anybody want to tap in on that, what I just said, before we go to Lady Monica?
Can I say something before
Go
we
ahead.
transition
Yes.
into that part? So all the stories are powerful, but Diane's story like impacted me in a way that it was the opposite effect, right? So in reading her story, I was right there. I wasn't even a month fully into having to deal with something that was going on with my sibling, my sister. My sister was in the hospital. It was just a month before she transitioned at this time that we're writing this book, right? So then when I go back, like it's just months, like 2 months, a month and a half. I don't even remember the time when my mother, I was just burying my mother where all this stuff was going on. But
Right.
Diane's story